Hello everybody out there in the bookverse, it's Stephanie, and today I am back with my second video that I've made of kind of my priority reads of 2023. This one I'm going to do is my priority series of 2023. Now, in 2023, I really want to complete series more. I have a ton of ongoing series, and I will be making a video about that later on, probably February, March time. I'm going to look at the series that I have ongoing, but I want to finish out more series in 2023 for sure. So in this video, there's going to be 10 series. 7 of them are going to be series that I have already started that I want to finish. And then 3 of them are going to be series that I want to start and finish in 2023. So let's start with the series that I want to finish that I have already started. First on this list, I read the first book in this series in December and I quite enjoyed it. It was a good time and I had a lot of fun with it. That is the All of Us Villains series. The second one is All of Our Demise. This is just a duology, so this is the second and final book in this series. So when I read it, I will be done with the series. It shouldn't be that hard. I should be able to finish it. This is kind of a magical Hunger Games where you have these 7 families, I think it is, and each of them sends every 10 years, 10 years, 20 years, every certain number of years. Gosh, does it say in here? I don't think it says. Like every certain number of years, you'll have to send, they're usually like teenagers, late teens, into this essentially an arena to fight to the death, and then the winner's family controls the high magic for until the next tournament. And in the first one, we kind of had started, and then this one will be the conclusion of the tournament. It definitely has gone a direction that I didn't necessarily expect. It is good. I really enjoy it. I think it's very interesting. I like the magic. I'm not as invested in the characters as I expected I was going to be, and it definitely has taken a lot of turns that I didn't expect it to. It's been different than my expectations going in, which was good. I did enjoy a lot of the twists, but I'm excited to finish it out and see how it ends. So this one hopefully will be early in the year, so I haven't forgotten stuff from the first one. Next is another one where I just have one left in the series, and I plan on finishing it very early in the year, and I'm sure a lot of you will be surprised I haven't read this book, but that is Mistborn Era 2, with the only book I have left to read is The Lost Metal by Brandon Sanderson. This is a series that follows the first era Mistborn. It's 300 years after that. The magic is based on metals, where you can use metals to give yourself different powers. It's kind of set in a time that has trains and guns, kind of a Wild West feel to it. We have these 2 main characters, Wax and Wayne, who I love their banter. They're so much fun together, and I think this book is set, like I've started it, and it definitely has a time jump between the third book and this book, but I'm really excited to see where we go with it, because I've heard people say that this is their absolute favorite within Mistborn Era 2, and some people even say that they like this better than Mistborn Era 1. So really excited to finish this book. I definitely need this one to be early in the year. Another series that I'm determined to finish in 2023 is the Throne of Glass series. I think the next one I have to read is Queen of Shadows, but I have the dust jacket on this one. The Queen of Shadows one is just black, so I decided to go with this one. I started this series, oh gosh, it was a while ago. Did I start that series in 2022? I might have started in 2021. I can't remember, but this is a 7-book series. It is a YA, I think it's a fantasy romance. Honestly, it has very strong romance vibes to it. And it follows this assassin who's in this world where a king has kind of taken over, and he's not really a good guy, and he's using a lot of sketch means to get more power and keep the power that he has. And she is kind of out to stop that. Has very morally great characters, and I think it's a good time. I really have enjoyed my time reading this series. It's not phenomenal for me by any means. It's not like a favorite series like it is for a lot of people, but I'm having fun and I think it's a good time. Next one on this list was on my list for last year, and that is the Powder Mage trilogy by Brian McClellan. I only have the 3rd and final book left. I need to read it. I think it's been like 2 years since I read the first book in the series, and I just can't remember everything. I've read the first 2 and I quite enjoyed them. They're not a new favorite by any means, but I thought they were interesting, fun, engaging. I liked the perspectives of some characters significantly more than others, but I definitely want to finish out this series in 2023. I just need to. It's been too long, and I'm planning on finishing it. It's like, if I need to read it this year or DNF at this point. This next one, I just don't know why I haven't read it yet, and that is The Hidden Palace, the sequel to The Golem and the Genie by Helen Wecker. I adored The Golem and the Genie. It's a historical fantasy set in like 1900s New York, and it has like djinn and a golem, and I just love it so much. It's very atmospheric and beautifully written, and I really, really want to read this. I don't know why it hasn't been a priority for me to read. I definitely love it, and I have very high hopes that I'm going to love this one as well. Plus, it's just one book. Like, I don't have a ton of books left in the series. I just have this one. I need to read it. The next series on this list is The Bulgarian by David Eddings. I feel like this one is very doable. I don't know, though, if this is 6 books or 3. I don't know if it's like a trilogy and then another trilogy, or if it's a series of 6 books. I'm not positive. If you know, let me know down in the comments. But I did read the first book, The Pawn of Prophecy, and I did enjoy it. It wasn't an all-time favorite for me, but I do have hopes that it will improve as we go through the series, because when I thought that like it was too short to be a whole book, but maybe it's because I should have like read it, like kept going more. And like the main character was very young, and a lot of it was telling him, you're too young, you can't know these things, and him just getting in trouble because of that. So I do hope that the things that I disliked in the first one kind of go away a little bit as I keep reading, because it is an interesting world, and I think there's a lot to like dive into with the lore, history, politics of this world. So I am interested in continuing with this one and finishing this series this year. And the last one of the series that I've started and need to finish, I am actually quite embarrassed that this is on here, and that is The Faithful and the Fallen series by John Gwynne. I love this series. I absolutely adore this series. Valor, the second book in this series, was on my favorites of 2022 list, and yet I'm halfway through Ruin and I just quit reading it. I think I just kind of got into a slump, and I just wasn't wanting to necessarily read things that required energy, and this one does require like thought and energy. Like, you have to try to keep the characters straight in the politics and all those things. Like, it's a complex world, and I just was not in a good headspace at the moment, and I want to read it when I'm gonna love it, because I know this could be an all-time favorite series for me. So yeah, I definitely have to finish this series in 2023. Now onto the series that I plan to start and finish in this year. First on the list, we have Theft of Swords by Michael J. Sullivan. This is the first one in the Rhaeria Revelations. I'm pretty sure this is like a bind-up, honestly. I think he wrote it separately and then it got combined. I'm not 100% positive on that one, but I read the Legends of the First Empire series earlier this year. Was it this year? No, it was last year. It had to have been last year. And loved it. I thought it was phenomenal. It was so good. The characters, the world, the writing, it was so fun. I absolutely loved that series. And this one is by the same author, set in the same world, but I'm pretty sure it's set way, way in the future after, well, I know it is, because like, if you know, you know, like you look at the picture and you can tell, but it's set significantly after the events of the Legends of the First Empire series, and so I'm really excited to read it. I've heard it has one of the best romances, and I have heard it's amazing and phenomenal, and I just can't wait to jump into this one. I think this is going to be a series that could go on to one of my favorites list, so I definitely need to read this one in 2023. This next one, again, I don't know why this is on this list, because I don't know why I haven't read it yet. That is the David Trilogy by S.A. Chakraborty, the first book being The City of Brass. I know I'm going to love this series. I have almost no doubt in my mind that this is going to be one of my favorite series of all time. It just has so much that I love. I think the setting is going to be perfect, and from what everyone has said about the writing style, I'm going to love it. Like, I just know that I'm going to adore this series. I don't know why I haven't read this series. It just makes no sense. So this series needs to be read this year. This is a trilogy, but it does have kind of another book that goes with it that has short stories within the world. I'm definitely going to read the trilogy and hopefully read the other book that is kind of a companion with it as well, but I'm not going to promise on the companion book. I will read the trilogy though. It's going to happen. This is the year. This is the year for this series. And the final series on this list that again has been on lists before is the Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare, first one being Clockwork Angel. I might see if my niece wants to read these books with me to encourage me to read them. I actually kind of would love to binge read this series in a week. I think that would be a lot of fun. It feels like a very bingeable series to me, partly because this is YA, and I feel like YA is a lot easier to binge read, for me at least. And also, I think it kind of seems like a series that would be fun to binge read on a vacation. I don't know why, I just get those vibes. I read the like the City of Bones series and did not like that series at all, but I've heard this one is better. So hopefully I like this one more. I've heard the characters are better, the romance is better, the world, the magic, and this is more of like a historical fantasy, which I do really, really enjoy. So I have very high hopes for this series. So those are my priority series of 2023. Let me know down in the comments which ones you think I will actually read. I'm interested to see how many people guess right. Those of you who have watched my channel for a while know me fairly well, and so I feel like you have some insights into what ones I will and won't read for the year. As always, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more from me, hit the subscribe button down below and the bell icon so you'll be notified when I post new content, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!